Thank you, Mr. Stephen Jordan, Executive Director, Business Civic Leadership Center. Ms. Jenna Davis, it's a great pleasure to see you again. Mr. Alan Martinez-Font, Executive Vice President of U.S. Chamber of Commerce, distinguished participants, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I can't think of few better ways to mark International Women's Day than to gather to commit our collective power to investing in women's empowerment. 100 years ago, when the day was first commemorated, gender equality was a largely radical idea. On this centenary, we celebrate the significant progress that has been achieved through determined advocacy, practical action, and enlightened policy making. But we must also remember that in too many countries and in too many societies, women remain second-class citizens, denied their fundamental rights, deprived of legitimate opportunity. Although the gender gap in education is closing, far too many girls are still denied schooling, leave prematurely, or complete school with a few skills and fewer opportunities. Women and girls continue to endure unacceptable discrimination and violence, often at the hands of intimate partners or relatives. In the home and at school, in the workplace, and in the community, being female too often means being vulnerable. That is why I launched my Unite to End Violence Against Women campaign, along with its network of men leaders. And that is why I have appointed a special representative on sexual violence in conflict. We are working to end impunity and change mindsets. Another urgent concern is women's and children's health. Too many women still die giving birth to new life. Too many children die from preventable illness. Last year at the MDG Summit, member states and the philanthropic community pledged strong support for my global strategy to improve the health of women and children over the next 4 years. In the area of decision-making, we see more women in more countries taking their rightful seat in parliament. Yet fewer than 10% of the countries have female heads of state or government. And even where women are prominent in politics, they are still severely underrepresented at the highest levels of business and industry. I'm pleased to see such a strong representation of women leaders here today. But I'm sure you are all aware that this is the exception, not the rule. Inequality and discrimination do not only occur in someone else's country or culture. Women and girls experience them everywhere, all the time. It is our job to change that. Here at the United Nations, I have increased the number of women in senior leadership posts by more than 40%. More than 1/3 of my senior management group is now female. As Gina Davis said so eloquently at the launch of UN Women last week, if girls can see it, they can be it. We still have a long way to go to achieve similar representation in middle management, but we are committed. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow I'll speak to business leaders about empowering women in their boardrooms and up and down their supply chains. 1 year ago today, we launched the Global Compact Women's Empowerment Principles under the slogan, Equality Means Business. 160 companies have now signed on, but we need thousands more to reach a tipping point. Today, we launch another exciting effort, the Financial Independence Through Entrepreneurship Initiative, which aims to help women in the developing world to start or expand businesses. I like the acronym FIGHT, F-I-T-E. That means, I repeat, financial independence through entrepreneurship initiative, FIGHT. This is what we all must do on behalf of women and girls. I thank Jane Wormont, founder and the owner of Domalogica, who will speak this afternoon, for providing leadership and the startup grant to get the campaign going. Join FIGHT will link business and philanthropic community with women entrepreneurs through the micro-lending website kiva.org. It is one of a growing list of examples of business recognizing that investing in women is good for the bottom line. Businesses such as Intel and Merck, also represented here today, that have strong corporate social responsibility programs to empower women. Last week, the new executive director of UN Women, Michelle Bachelet, made an interesting observation. She told us that a recent study found that the Fortune 500 companies with the highest number of women on their boards were 53% more profitable than those with the fewest women board members. I hope you remember this. Investing in women is not just the right thing, but it is the smart thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Bachelet is not here today because she is in Liberia, celebrating International Women's Day with President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Africa's only female head of state. She's traveling with Kathy Bushkin-Calvin, CEO of the UN Foundation, to see firsthand the impact of another exciting partnership program called Girl Up. Girl Up gives American girls the opportunity to give financial support and solidarity to adolescent girls abroad. It is helping them to grow up safe, educated, and empowered, investing in them so they can grow to be the leaders of tomorrow. Leaders like you here in this room today. You know, and I know, that women must have full and equal participation in all areas of public and private life. Only then can we hope to achieve the sustainable, peaceful, and just a society promised in the United Nations Charter. Let me add one thing after this, my written speech. These days, we are witnessing historic transformation in many parts, particularly in the Middle East and North Africa. That's the place where we need to see women's rights, women empowerment, women's equality, gender equality should be promoted. These days I have been talking to many leaders in the region, kings and presidents and prime ministers and foreign ministers, regional organizations. Whenever I talk to them, I never fail to mention that I urge you to have a broad-based dialogue. Listen very carefully, authentically what your people are saying, your people are wanting. This is genuine freedom, genuine democracy, and full of participation. And talk with opposition leaders, and business leaders, and civil community leaders, and I never fail to mention women leaders, women. You have to do more gender equality, gender empowerment. So I'm going to visit next week those areas in the Middle East, and I'll never fail to discuss with the leaders there to how they can increase gender equality and how can they can do more for women's empowerment, women's equal right there, where the right have been largely disregarded and oppressed. And that's my commitment, and I'm telling you again, as we celebrate this 100th anniversary of Women's Day. And again, thank you very much for all of you for your strong commitment, but you have to have hope and a strong will to fight until we see that both men and women have equal right or even more and better opportunities. Thank you very much.